So today we're announcing the My Brossman's blog, and we're interviewing my father, Martin W. Brossman II. I'm Martin W. Brossman III. And Dad, if you'd be willing to say a few words about our new blog that we're creating together.
Well, I think there's an exciting thing to do because it'll force us to get into background and history and clarify some of the facts of the past and be sure we don't lose them. And
what we're going to do is work on you and I and then track our way back through the Brossmans.
That's right.
And hopefully meet some new ones.
That's right. And of course we've been studying some of the background Brossman history, and we have copies of some of the Brossman history. But this would give an incentive for people to actually appear on your blog.
That's right. A famous moment.
That's right. A moment on film.
That's right.
So I think that would be a big inducement.
Yeah, that's right. We could add YouTube videos as well from Brossman.
That's right. That's right.
Now, for our listeners, let's just go around the history. It starts with me, Martin W. Brossman III, and then you, Martin W. II, and then my grandfather, Dr.
Martin W. Brossman.
At the first. And then his dad.
And his dad was Charles Brossman. And then he had two brothers.
Dr. Charles Brossman had...
Dr. Charles Brossman had three brothers. My father, Martin W. Brossman, Charles Brossman, and I'm trying to think of who, Paul Brossman.
Okay.
And my dad was the middle one. Paul was the youngest, and the other was the oldest. So,
and then your dad, Dr. Martin Brossman, had several kids.
He had several kids, and of course, my sister, Ruth Brossman, she was the first, the oldest of the children. I was the second, Martin W. Brossman, the second, and then William Brossman, my brother, was the third in the line of the three children.
And then they all have kids that we hope will contribute to our blog too.
That's a great idea.
So, Dr. Charles Brossman was a veterinarian in Wilmersdorf, right?
Wilmersdorf, Pennsylvania.
And there's a gravesite there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a big. We have a family large memorial there, Brossman Memorial, and all. And the more current Brossmans are former Brossmans are buried there from my father and his brother and my sister, and my father's both brothers are buried there with my father.
And then your dad had a private practice in Allentown.
And he had a private practice in Allentown, Pennsylvania. He moved, of course, from Wilmersdorf, which was his home, to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and opened up a practice there.
And then my grandmother's name is?
Eleanor Ruth.
And she has... and then where does the Werner come into it?
We'll have to check on the Werners, the Werner line, because it's. I have a feeling that it could be my grandmother's family.
I remember it as that's Nana, as we called her. Her maiden name was somehow in one side was Werner.
Yeah.
But we'll check and add it to the blog.
Right, we'll have to check.
And then the Brossman's origin from Pennsylvania going back.
Right.
is Germany, correct?
Germany, right. Southern Germany, Bavaria. And you and I actually, I will have to check the names because we have all that information. We've looked up that information. I think it was Franz Brossman, who we looked up there. And he was about, he lived only a short distance from where you and I were traveling at the time. But we didn't have the time to go over to the gravesite or to find the gravesite in Germany.
But they were Lutherans.
They were Lutherans.
And how did they go through England to come to America, or what was their path from Germany?
Well, they I know that I think Franz went to Hamburg. Of course, he was coming to Pennsylvania, but he came through Hamburg, which was the former a major part of debarkation, and also landed in New York, and then went down to Pennsylvania to live.
And now there are Brossmans all around the country.
Now they're around the country.
And it's a big Pennsylvania Dutch settlement in Pennsylvania as well.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Grandpa spoke Pennsylvania Dutch, right?
Right. In fact, at his time, most of the residents of Wilmersdorf, when he was growing up, spoke Pennsylvania Dutch.
It was a big deal. So, do you want to state anything else to welcome people to read and contribute to our blog?
Oh, well, we'd like very much to have anyone, the Brossman line, the Werner line, to get us some information, and we'll share what we have and get in the future with them.
And keep adding it.
That's right. So. And the other thing is that Schuler Brossman, we're very much indebted to for the information we do have, because Schuler Brossman, among other, lived near Wilmersdorf, and Schuler Brossman was a newspaper man, and used to actually write a column in the Reading Times, but he was also a great historian. So Schuler did a lot of the work on the history of the family, and he provided copies of that information to of course, the Mormons collect information on all Americans, and he deposited that information with the Mormons. In addition, of course, it's in the Historical Society in Wilmersdorf, Pennsylvania, and many of the records are there in the Historical Society, and that's the one that you and I have visited and going back to visit. And the historian there has a lot of background material on Brossmans.
Great. Well, that concludes our first our first video introduction to my Brossman history, and look forward to hearing from other Brossmans.
That's great.
Great, thanks. And
you're dangerous to that thing.
And we're filming on the front porch of the Brossman house in Washington, D.C., right?
That's right.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks, Dad. Bye.